join you in this launch, and we're really grateful for that. First of all, I'll start with the basic discussion about the event. So how do you feel about the launch of this event, and how do you see it how do you measure it in terms of success?
Sure. So first of all, thanks for coming and joining this experience with us. So it's great to have you. And yeah, this is the first time we do our own launch events.
Oh.
We used to launch products on conferences. And while that is great because there's a lot of press or awareness there, but it's not, we don't control the environment to the fullest. So we set out because this is our biggest launch ever. It's like the best product we ever brought to market. So let's do it really properly. And so I'm super proud of the team doing this huge hard work to make all of this happen. We're getting great feedback, so that gives me some confidence that we did a good job.
You guys have nailed it in terms of the launch of the event, the arrangements, and everything is just perfect.
Awesome. So thanks a lot. And yeah, to the question, how do we measure it? So we have our previous launches, but we also measure against competitive launches, and it's a lot about the reach, and we have some metrics that we try to chase, of course. But it's also about creating new friends. We have our known friends, and we have new friends coming here, and they're traveling to see us, which is awesome. And
exploring this part of the world is just great. It's a great experience.
Thank you. No, awesome. And I think in a new world where everything is AI and stuff, it's I think physical events are more and more important.
Exactly.
This is why we do it. We need to connect. We're a kind of community-driven brand. So it's really important to meet the people.
And we have been seeing people really believe, the people that are here really believes in Trezor. It's not just that they are invited or just because they want to come here for the work. I have seen people more of believing and more trusting the company. So that's been a great to observe. Anyway, we'll start with the questions right now, Danny. So the Trezor has achieved the record-breaking sales week last year, which you attributed to factors like Bitcoin nearing 200K mark and US elections. So since then, is there an additional record in sales from your prospect?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest drivers for hardware wallets is this retail FOMO and hype. We have very cyclical markets, so it kind of overwhelms everything. If you have this huge spike, all companies will sell a lot. So in that sense, we did hit a peak end of the year. This year we also came close again. There was this all-time high break, so that was again a good period. But at the same time, we also see that it's not the same bull market effect like previous cycles, where we had this crazy spike for 2-3 months where it was ridiculous in the sales kind of volumes. And now it seems to be more spread out, but we see that the baseline is higher and higher and higher. So every time it gets up, so we see a really healthy and great growth. But we also see it's more spread out. It's less in this kind of very short period.
Right. And do you correlate your number of sales with the Bitcoin price?
Yes, it's directly correlated, but only when it reaches certain excessive new heights. So when it's Bitcoin is a near all-time high, it doesn't do a lot. When it just breaks the all-time high, it starts a bit, but when it gets kind of above that, then it starts really attracting a lot of new people in the space, and they get interested, and then they start buying hardware wallets.
And in our discussion with Thomas, we talked that Trezor's device has been so reliable. Even we could use the Trezor 1 right now if you want to. So do you think that providing this Safe 7 will eradicate the need for new devices that you may or may not launch in the future?
So I do think it's good to innovate and to try to find improvements in usability and experience. Our devices are all safe, Safe 3, Safe 5, Safe 7. Of course, we have some new technology in here, but everybody can be reassured that it's top-notch security. But we do see these trends on like where hardware improvements can help the experience,
Right.
and that's where we focus on. And also on the software side, we try to improve as much as we can. Like we have quantum ready kind of hardware wallet, which is like some software breakthrough that we're working. So it's not just also hardware, but also software. And there's always this evolution. So we will continue to focus on bringing new devices to the market for different users. So.
And do you have any specific time that you look for, or do you look for new tech?
Well, like it's to make a hardware wallet. It's like at least 3 years of 2 to 3 years of planning.
2 to 3 years.
This one took 5 years, I think.
Wow.
But like the actual hard work's 2 years, 1 year. But like to plan it, to work around. So of course now we are already planning and working on the future. It will be too late otherwise. And like we do want to, of course, have some innovation and technology if possible. But at the same time, sometimes you bring out product more for the masses, and it's less about innovation. It's more about accessibility or price. So there's always different factors that come into play.
That's wonderful. All right, so I'll move with your next question. So your core mission in expanding the business within the Bitcoin and broader crypto ecosystem, what are your key targets geographically beyond North America, EMEA, and APAC, where you have been, where you have a background? Yeah. Is there that Treasury is prioritizing right now for commercial expansion within the next 5 years? Which countries and geographical locations you look for?
Yeah, so we are like predominantly Western from our history. US and Europe are our main markets, but we are now aggressively looking into new markets, and it's part of, I think, the industry maturing. We need to find new markets, open up new markets, and we've identified some markets already this year and next year. So one of those markets, for example, is Brazil, where we do really well. We want to open this up more. We're looking into Japan. We have a lot of Japanese people here.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Brazilian people. We have a lot of Indian people, and those are like part of our expansion kind of ideas. India is one of those countries. I just told you we got some licensing there to kind of start selling in those countries. This is also one of those main countries where we feel there's an opportunity to sell.
Yeah,
crypto is interested there. There's like a wealth of different people who want to do different use cases, and those are big markets people-wise, especially India. So there's definitely something, those countries we're looking a lot at and how we can expand there.
That's wonderful. All right, so you can speak about Trezor's long-term growth plans. What is the single most critical metric you use to measure the health and success of Trezor's long-term growth? And how does it connect with the vision of mass adoption?
Yeah, like it's honestly super simple, because I can tell you many complex metrics, but in the end it's like kind of units that we want to ship.
The number of units.
Because that is the key signal for self-custody usage with the hardware wallet. So like I could tell you, again, like all these metrics, but in the end we want to get people into secure self-custody, and they need to buy a hardware wallet to do so. So that is the core metric we obsess most about, is selling hardware wallet units. And that spins off a wealth of other services and solutions for the users. They're using our software products. We are expanding those offerings as well. And like we are also trying to understand how the product offering can fit different market, different price points, and all this kind of stuff.
And do you measure the usability of the product, like after the sales part is done? Like, do you know how many people are using the product currently? And could you check and any metrics? Could you?
Yeah, we do. We have a very strong data policy that the best data is no data. This is quite unique for us as a company. I work in sales and marketing. It's not easy to work without data.
Without data, yeah.
But this is also a feature, not a bug. So it's like we actually know that people buy our products so they can be anonymous.
Right.
They don't want to be tracked. They don't want to be traced. So it's a kind of balance. Like we do have some data. You can opt into, if you want to, some anonymous analytics. Only if you want to. We do have that option. And we use the data and kind of extrapolate to kind of understand user feedback, because it is critical to improve the product, but it's all anonymized, and we basically don't know.
Yeah, so you wouldn't know where the user got stuck.
We can it's purely needed for product development, and we don't know who it is. It's some anonymous identifier. But outside that, when people buy in our eShop, we delete all the data after a certain while. So we don't use that data. So it's complex challenge, but at the same time, we think we have enough to have meaningful innovation improvements, but at the same time, really respecting the
User
ethos of
privacy.
privacy and not getting their data unwanted.
That's wonderful. All right, now for the next question, the U.S. regulatory environment is transitioning, right now from a hostile environment to a supporting environment. So that's a big shift that we have seen in recent time. What specific regulatory clarity is Trezor and the self-custody sector is still hoping for from the government?
So it's a very interesting question because we're not like looking for that clarity like exchanges and whatever staking providers, or like we are kind of on the opposite side here, like self-custodial. We don't want to do anything.
You don't want to comply with
well, of course we have to comply.
You have to comply, but you don't
But
want to just,
we're not asking for regulation to self-custody. Like our main hope, of course, and like importance is that self-custody is legal in all these countries, that nobody creates some regulation that say you're no longer to hold your own keys. This is, I think, our fear, but it doesn't look like it. I think we see in the US and in Europe that all the new regulations don't really block that. But the companies who are asking for clarity are the custodians, and they need it more than us.
Right. Anyway, so at this point of time, you offer insights on launching consumer products in volatile markets previously.
No.
So how does your playbook for managing commercial strategy in crypto's bull and bear cycles differ from the strategy that you have had previously in Sony or Jibra?
Sure. Well, it's very different. So this market is quite unique. We have these super high spikes and then these crashes.
Yeah.
So it is from a supply chain angle, logistic angle, extremely hard to manage. I've never seen this in my life. I worked in the stable markets where it's 3-4, like TV market, 2-4% growth. It doesn't really matter what the market, it's around market share and how you apply strategies on that. But I also worked in consumer electronics, true wireless segment, headphones, where it was 600-700% year-on-year growth. But then it goes up, and then it's stable. It doesn't crash.
Right.
So for us, it is extremely critical to time the market right, to bet sometimes on the inventory, but also on the launches and the timelines. And it's kind of not nice if you love data or you love certainty, but you kind of have to make a bet. You kind of have to believe, okay, guys, 2025 is the year, 2026, and we need to do this. We need to hire people in a bear market when it's harder to make the money, to invest in the future, and you have to make these bold bets to make it.
Right. And how do you manage the production side of things? Let's say that the market goes crazy and Bitcoin just goes below 200,000 and everybody's even more people are coming here.
Sure.
So in this kind of events, how does your production strategy meets the demands that rises, which is uncertain right now?
Yeah. So there are two parts. It's just generally high level. We have launched a new product every year. Say 3, say 5, say 7. Right. So we have really ramped up the speed of new product launches. So that should make us a bit less reliant on the market. There's always something new coming.
Yeah.
So one part of it is just to ship new products faster, and then we'll catch whatever wave comes.
Right.
And the other part is for the specific production for such a launch. If you're close to hardware, they say hardware is hard. It is really hard to ramp up from 0 to whatever capacity you want to achieve. And it always breaks somewhere. And this is normal in every big consumer electronic company. So we are having to time this event, this time, I think 9 to 10 months before. Wow. Which is very scary. So we have to internally really think deeply, guys, when do we think it can be ready? And then also you don't want it to be too far out, because then it's too easy. You want to find this kind of middle path where there's stress and it's hard and tough, but you can still make it. And that's where you should try to focus on, to get to this middle line where the teams are really doing their best, they're maxed out, but we still also want to ship in time, because we know this can be a bull market year, so the earlier the better.
Yes, and in terms of the product launches that you have said, Trezor 3, Trezor 5, Trezor 7 now, and earlier models. So which model could you say that is the biggest hit so far? If you don't talk about, if you keep the Trezor 7 aside.
Yeah, so like they're for different segments. So Trezor Safe Free is like it reaches more users.
It's mostly sold.
Yes, in the like units wise, but in the value actually we see that say 5 like people want to buy the better model.
Yeah.
So we actually think this will be your bestseller in that sense.
Be the best
It is an innovation product, and we see there's an opportunity.
This wallet.
There you go.
Obviously. All right. So proceeding for the next question. The Trezor sells a security-focused product. So how do you effectively market the value of security and self-custody to maintain, to mainstream audience, the crypto novice who may prioritize convenience over sovereignty? And how do you translate the philosophical principle of not your keys, not your coins?
Yeah.
So how do you push this to the buyers?
Yeah.
Who are buying?
So it's not an easy message always. It's something we're working hard on, and it was discussed earlier today. Like, is the message now in the crypto markets the right one? In generally, I think self-custody is like needs more attention. So we are here to actually be a strong voice for self-custody. We have to, because not everybody does it. People go to exchanges. They are like more incentivized with centralized sometimes and decentralized, because then it's hard and difficult and they don't make money fast enough. So we are like doing the tough work here, I think. So content and education is super critical pillar for us to explain why. But how do we reach this kind of wider audience? It is also by getting the jargon out, having more simple messaging, simple communication, like own your money, like what does it truly mean? Own your crypto, like as like Mateo was presenting also, like do you truly own it or not? And trying to get also to the emotional part of like what are you doing here? Yes. And like of course the lessons from the past, putting them in, like these are not crazy situations. Many countries have faced many complex, difficult situations when your wealth is taken away, and we are there to kind of educate what's possible and what's not possible.
Yes, and we have seen huge exchanges collapses and getting hacked, and your money is stuck and stuff. So do you think people come to self-custody, or they just leave the market? Because we have seen cases people have just left the market.
Yeah, I think that some people leave, but definitely people come. So when, let's say, FTX happened, which was one of the biggest events, that was like a spike or best sales week ever in that week. Yeah. So definitely people realize that at the time it was the best, and then they realize like, oh, what am I doing? And they buy a hardware wallet. Those are like shock moments where people start thinking a lot about what am I doing. But I think long term, yes, it also will. Some people will leave, but those are also the people who are more in it for the financial gains, maybe, and less about what are they trying to achieve here, and holding something and the ethos-driven stuff.
Yeah, right. All right. So the next question is, the context states you offer insights on building trust in Web3. Mm-hmm. What is the single biggest trust hurdle in the Web3 space that still needs to overcome for a large-scale adoption? In the Web3 space. Yeah.
So like we kind of like to say, don't trust us. And it's also in the presentation today, like the industry is like about nobody trusts each other, and like that's how we like it. We want to build open source code, open products. Same with the secure element from Tropic Square. It's open, transparent, so you can review the code, you can see the hardware. There are no NDAs. So like our path for like the messaging and communication is don't trust us, but we are one of the most trusted brands at the same time. But we try to get there by basically telling people, look at the code, verify for yourself, and don't listen to our voices, but look at what we do.
Right.
What you do is more important than what you say.
That's wonderful. All right. While it's true that Trezor does not take the user's data, when this is the most questions that we people have, and that I'm going to ask you again. Sure. That when people are buying it from a third-party vendors, like you said that in India you rely on a third-party vendor. Yeah. So how do you make sure that they are, aligning with your ethos
Yeah,
about
it's a
not
good
keeping the
question.
data and stuff?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, it's hard for us to apply our rules on other companies. Like, that's really a challenge. Like, our rules ourselves are transparent and clear. We have this on the website. You can see what we do with your data when we delete it. But that's kind of where, like, even like if you talk about Amazon, where we sell Best Buy, we are not able to change their stuff.
Right.
We do advise always when possible also to buy through
Directly
us,
from you.
directly, but we also deeply value, of course, our partners, specifically in countries like where we cannot sell yet, like
Yeah.
in India. Those are really certified partners, and they do the best they can. So we also really like value them as well. But at the same time, yeah, it's hard for us to tell them you're not allowed to do this and that. But a lot of the, I would say, resellers, we call them, that are crypto native, that have been in the space, they actually have the same ethos.
Right.
They actually do think about it in the same way because they understand the risk, and they are more like ethos aligned.
So you do look for people with similar ethos and having this strict policy about not keeping users' data. That's wonderful. All right, what is the next major innovation in the hardware wallet space that you believe will fundamentally change users' behavior and accelerate self-custody to mass adoption?
Yeah, so I think in the end we would need to make it as easy as possible. I think
Right.
this is still something we are always working on. The industry should continue to work on, so that there are no barriers and no blockers. We think like even the seed words, although we invented the seed words, is still something we are closely looking into. Like, is there a way to improve this and like make it easier for the user to get onboarded? But I have to say, like, if you log on to an exchange or sign up an exchange, you have a lot of verification, a lot of documents to go through.
Right.
It's not as easy either. So I think we're doing a good job. But like, it's mostly ease of use and like and also the connectivity to everything that we're always focused on to improve.
And apart from the sales thing, I mean, we could see that the recent shift in the crypto market is, it has shifted to keeping treasuries of cryptos, right? So, as a company, Trezor,
Yeah.
do you believe in that thing that you have, treasury built in crypto that you personally, have something that you would like to disclose?
So do you mean us as Trezor?
Yes. As a Trezor, do you have treasuries in crypto?
Yeah, so we actually, you can buy our products with Bitcoin, and
Right.
like we do not sell that.
You don't sell that.
No, because we are like strong believers of what we say.
Right.
So definitely, well, sometimes you do have to sell if you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
invest.
Yeah.
But like generally, like we're very aligned with that concept as well.
Right. And do you plan on making it public, because people have been using that for marketing lately?
True.
so
True.
you
So
guys
it's a
should-
good idea. I should
Yeah.
think about that. Yeah.
Have you guys thought of it?
Not really. Like, I think it's like something we are accustomed to over the years. So in that sense, like, it's not the marketing story is like somewhat it's like kind of a hype now, I would say. So we're
Yeah.
not really hype focused. We're like building long term, and we see like let's say if we have some Bitcoin, we kind of see it as our venture capital. Like, we
Right.
believe in it, we know it will increase in value long term, and we are not venture capital driven. We don't collect funding, so we actually use it as kind of more of a path to fund ourselves in the future if we need to expand or invest in
Right.
certain areas.
And if you talk about fund yourself, as a company, Trezor, have you guys thought of creating any incentivizing tokens or something like that, or maybe going to public and make Trezor a public company?
So, good question. So we will not make a token. No.
That
We are
would
not.
be
We will
you,
not do that.
I'd say.
Yeah,
It would not
no.
be you.
No, that will not be us, and that's
Yes.
not who we are as a company. We are a profitable company. We fund ourselves by the sales. We reinvest our like sales into innovation and R&D, and we also like to be private company. We like to be independent. It is
Right.
critical to our mission that we do not compromise on certain things. We see in the industry sometimes self-custody principles are compromised because of this growth above everything
Right,
mentality.
because of they have
And
went
venture
public.
capital kind of pushes that. They will ask for more and more and more. We want to grow, but it should be sustainable growth. That also is healthy, but in most and foremost that our users will get the best experience.
As of right now, I mean, from your perspective, and from your opinion, the Trezor as a company is going well, and there is no need absolutely to do any of this, going public or doing any of that.
We created this device, which is the best hardware wallet on the market today, and it's packed with innovation, and we all fund it ourselves. So this is the proof that it's possible.
You don't need to do it.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. All right, now we just have a few questions about you, Danny, personally. It's like more of your opinions about, crypto in general. So as being at your position, do you personally believe in investing in crypto? And if you do, which crypto do you personally invest and keep as your money, not the company's money?
Yeah, like I'll openly talk about Bitcoin because I truly believe in that, and that's where I believe people should probably put. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own situation.
Right.
But I believe it's the most decentralized, hard money. I think in the world today of inflationary policies, like it makes total sense, and even the institutions and the banks, they're all starting to understand it. They're all behind, but they all realize that, okay, this is real. So I am full believer, of course, in Bitcoin. I'm not going to talk about any other token. We are coin agnostic, and we have we shouldn't talk about that, because I think that's kind of, as a company, we're here to give freedom technology tools.
Right.
But I do see there are some interesting trends out there, and I try to follow them, of course. I'm always interested in what's happening. But I think there's a lot of speculation, a lot of hype, and I'm always worried about that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if you just remove the speculation part, which you believe only in Bitcoin.
No, I think my point is there's a lot of hype and speculation, and you should think about what are the real use cases, what is really happening. I think stable coins are showing real traction. It is truly helping the global south to get access to dollars. It's even helping the US government by selling their money market fund or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's real use cases, and I think the whole DeFi world, where you have DEX trading, where people can trade things in a completely non-custodial way, I think those are great innovation. I think the original DeFi ethos is really great. And after that, I haven't seen a lot more innovation.
Yeah,
I think 2020 was a fantastic year.
It
was awesome. I think still those primitives are today the most innovative solutions out there.
I highly resonate with that. I mean, after 2020, there has not been something revolutionary.
No, but that is a revolution on its own, and I think that, if I look back, I think those are things that they offer some use cases that are real. There's opportunity there for financial systems to build on as well.
Yes.
And to really improve the whole tech stack and efficiency of markets.
And since we're talking about DeFi, I mean, I wanted to know if you personally believe in DeFi and that you are using in your day-to-day life. Like maybe if you need a loan and you would use DeFi, or something what is your prospect and and usage of DeFi?
Yeah, I think some core primitives, if you own some crypto and you want to borrow some stable coins or some liquidity again, I think that makes sense. Don't use leverage. I don't think that's smart for people to use unless you're an expert. But I think those primitives can work sense if you're a believer in crypto and you're holding it. That you, let's say, if you have some short-term bills to pay, that you can back it with your crypto. I think those are sensible things. The same with the DEX trading. If you want to swap in or swap out on something from crypto to from Bitcoin to stablecoin or whatever, doing it in a non-custodial way, I think that's great technology, and we offer that in our suite solution as well. You can basically use all these tools, and through Connect, you can connect to any software wallet as well, where you can interact with all these platforms, and I think those are great.
That's great. So these platforms that are integrated in Trezor, by using these platforms via Trezor, does it benefit Trezor in any way, in monetizing way?
Yeah, sure. It's part of monetization, so we take a small fee and offering it to our users. We also ensure that what we integrate, we do our best security-wise.
I mean, you personally trust it, that's why you integrate.
Yeah, we are very careful. We don't, again, we are a bit more conservative, a bit more nervous around all of this stuff. So when we do integrate some stuff, we want to make sure it's secure. And we want to offer a safe environment for our users where they can feel secure in their hardware wallet, be fully non-custodial, and still use some of these key tools.
Right. And as of right now, are you exploring any new, new apps to integrate in the
We
Trezor?
always are. The market is always changing and always
Yeah.
improving, so we're always looking into what should we integrate. Again, at a bit slower pace. We don't want to break stuff, but we always are looking for new stuff.
Right. That's wonderful. All right. I just have a few questions for you. In the last 11 years, Trezor has built itself a trusted brand. What has been the single biggest, most challenging thing that Trezor as a company faces to maintain it?
To maintain trusted brands, like
Yeah.
it's security above anything. So like security is one side, but I think data as well. Like we see there's a lot of data hacks. I think email, unfortunately, is not safe in general.
It's not safe.
And I
mean,
think
don't
people
know.
should be educated that use whatever email address, but not your real one that you use a lot, not with your name. Like I think you should always assume email is at risk. But like when it comes to like physical addresses, like that's really bad. If that gets leaked or that gets hacked, that's what we're always super nervous about. We see that happened in the past. There's some examples. I personally was also impacted by that, and it's not a great feeling. And I think those are things that make us really worried about trust, and of course, security number one. Like
Security is number one.
this is like everybody will freak. Like we are always like first and foremost. If it touches the security, like of course it's a compromised usability, security, privacy, all these things. We have to be the most secure one out there. That's what builds your trust, and you know how it is. Like one day you can lose it all. So yeah.
Right. So I just want to have a last question about Trezor as a company venturing into something other than the hardware wallets, or maybe integrating something or some other business model other than selling the devices. Are you exploring any of that?
We are always exploring, but we also come to the conclusion, as we are super very mission-driven focused, we care about the individual.
Right.
We care about the people, and we want to give them freedom technology tools.
Right.
We see a lot of other jumping on the enterprise and going in, and like we had these discussions, but like it's not our mission. It's not our mission to empower enterprises. It's our
Right.
mission to empower the normal
People.
So
People
we
first.
stick to the mission, people first, community first. Of course, there are other stuff. We have sister companies like Tropic Square, Vexel, and Invity, and they are doing a lot of new stuff. So we have like a whole group of companies, so they are also venturing out into new spaces. But like our ethos is the individual that we're for.
Right, and the entire goal of this group of companies is to
It's also to empower. It's the same
blockchain
mission.
and crypto.
It's the same mission to empower the individual, peer-to-peer trading, no KYC with Vexel, Tropic Square, open, transparent, secure elements that anybody can look into, and Invity is your onboarding to Bitcoin. So
This
we
is wonderful.
really trying to do everything, which is our founders' message and their founders' kind of wish to kind of keep on focusing on that.
Right. So I just wanted to end this interview with one last advice from you that we could give to our users who is watching us, who will watch us in the future.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to somebody who is in the crypto and somebody who is not in the crypto?
So I think the advice is that, of course, I'm plugging my own products, but I do think like you can start with self-custody and you can start with a hardware wallet. Like we do offer the tools to buy Bitcoin or any crypto and to trade and to stake. So we have a complete solution. And you can start with self-custodial. There's this conception, it's okay to start an exchange. But my advice is like, why is this industry here? What are we trying to achieve? We're not trying to be building on third parties and custodians. So my advice is always like, it's not that hard. You can do it. We make it as simple and easy as possible for you. It depends a bit about what you do. Like if you're new to crypto or you don't have anything, buying a hardware wallet feels like maybe some hard step. But we sell them as the Safe Free is $79. Okay, if it's too much, it's okay to buy an exchange. But try to make the switch, and it feels different to truly own your crypto. It's very different than having it on an exchange. And I think once you start, you'll see how easy it is. And you also understand why we are here. When you have to manage all these addresses and the backup and all this stuff. It is this kind of mental work you have to go through to really understand it.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Danny, for your time.
Awesome.
And we are really grateful for interviewing you and
thanks for
talking
coming.
with you.
It's awesome to see you here all the way from India.
It's just been a great and insightful conversation with you. and I'm sure our viewers and anyone who will watch this interview will get a huge knowledge out of it. Thank you so much, Danny.
Thank you so much. It's good.